What's going on, guys? It's Wafers, and welcome back to the Newport County Road to Glory Career Mode. It's episode 12, and this one is going to be the season finale. We're going to be playing the last 6 games of the season and wrapping up season 1. We've already won the League 2 title, as you can see here. Far and away, we are champions of League 2. 6 games to go. We are trying to see how many points we can get, how close to that 120 point mark can we end up at. So for the first game of the episode, we are going to be going to Scunthorpe United to England, where we've had a great away record this year, and we get stuff started early. In the 10th minute, we come forward, Marsh into Sheehan, playing it around the box a little bit, and it goes into Telford, who finishes this one off, as he does, to put us up 1-0 against Scunthorpe. We take another early lead. Something that we've been really good at this season is getting an early lead, and once we get that, we sort of just go all the way, and we keep putting the pressure on the opposition and keep scoring goals. As you saw earlier, we've scored 119 goals coming into this episode with 6 games to go, and we're trying to add more to that. We've really been able to just keep attacking against teams and put a lot of pressure on them and until we blow them out. So Scunthorpe would take a equalizer and come back in this game 1-1, but we would come back in the 67th minute. Again, Risky hits Moss, and Moss hits Telford, and it's in the back of the net. He rarely misses. Telford restores our lead 2-1 up against Scunthorpe United. But we weren't done in this one. We are going to come forward again at the end of the game now. We're into added time. We're actually over added time. The ref decides to play on, even though we're already winning. Telford working a little bit on the edge of the box, and there it is. A nice right-footed finesse shot from outside of the box into the bottom right corner. I mean, what can you say about this guy? He's nearing 60 goals on the season at this point. He came into this episode with 55. He bags 3 more, and we win the first game of the episode 3-1 over Scunthorpe. Now into this game against Bolton, and one thing that you have to remember is, well, we are not playing for anything anymore. Some of these teams are, and one of those teams that's playing for something is Bolton. They are nearing a playoff position, and they want to be able to keep that playoff position. So although we have the title secured, we're playing some teams that have motivation to play for. And Bolton came out, and they very early on, 20 minutes in, got a goal. We go down 20 minutes in. We would come right back though, almost immediately. Scrimshaw in this one hits Bennett, who hits Donnelly. It's a missed tackle by the Bolton defender. You can see he stuck out his leg there, and he wasn't able to actually get the ball. The ball squirts through, and Donnelly, with a pretty lucky break, ends up putting it in the back of the net, and we equalize. We'd have to wait all the way until the 75th minute for something to happen in this game. Besides the first couple of goals, nothing really was going on. It was hard to create chances against this team. Bolton's a good team in League 2, but we were able to win this penalty. Donnelly wins the penalty. A nice little scoop turn. He got taken out, and we give it to Telford. You're banking on this going in. He's scored all season, but no, it gets saved. The keeper keeps out Telford and denies him, and it's still 1-1. We would come forward though, and in the 85th minute, you can see Telford gets a shot. He misses once again, but Bennett, with a nice little control there, is able to keep the ball, gives Telford a second chance, and I guess his third time the charm, because off the bench on his third shot, he is able to put it in the back of the net and give us a 2-1 lead. We come back against Bolton, and we are able to win another game in this season. Looking at one of our last youth scouting reports for the season, our English scout wasn't able to really find anything. That's okay. He's a 1-star. He's given us 2 really good players this year, so I'm hoping that every once in a while I could just pick up a player from him. But Brendan Byrne, I've been sort of up and down with him this season. Sometimes he's given us a really good player. Sometimes, they've just been full of duds. This one was mostly duds. We did find Kai Press here. Looks like a decent goalkeeper. He's already age 17. We're going to take him in. see if we can, develop him a little bit. Hopefully his potential goes up. But right after that, one of our other goalkeepers in the academy, Cameron Gilbert, is unsettled, wants to get promoted. So I do promote him. His potential is only 77 and 83. So at some point we might look to sell him. But for right now, he's a good backup goalkeeper. We also finished Alex Brown's conversion from a center mid to a left back. He jumps 10 ratings. That's 2 center mids that I have converted to left back now with him and Evans, and both of them have jumped up by 10 or 11 ratings, which I think is just really interesting that I've gotten 2 center mids from my youth scouts, and both of them have jumped by 10 when I convert them to left backs. So we'll have to see how they develop. They look like they have decent potentials. And, hopefully we can get them into the squad next year and maybe even loan them out or just for some depth. Into this game against Oldham Athletic, and you would have seen Bennett got us started. We scored the first goal. He puts us up 1-0 with a nice little finish. He runs into the box and he was able to put it in the corner. I've been really impressed with him this season. He was one of our first main youth players that we called up. The first one that hit a potential tag. He was showing great potential, and he's been really good for us this season. Him and then Marsh, who we called up a little bit later in January, they have just been running things since we put them in together. But Telford here hits another milestone, 60 goals in League Two, and this actually ties a mark set in 1927-28, where an Everton striker set the record for the most number of goals in a season in the top flight in England, the top 4 leagues, with 60 goals. That is the record breaker. Telford scores number 61. It's a little bounce back header off a save, but it's the 61st goal of the season in League Two. He sets the all-time record for most goals scored in a season in the top 4 flights of English football. Just an absolutely insane season by Telford. I would have never have thought that I would have been able to score 40 goals with a player in one season. Nevertheless, 60 goals with one player in a season. Just a reminder, we are playing on Ultimate Difficulty. We've been playing on Ultimate Difficulty the entire time minus the first 2 games of the series. So, all these games are tough. They're all tough games against good teams in League Two. We're not that much better than a lot of other teams in League Two, but I've just been on an absolute tear with Telford. He's been incredible, finishes almost everything, the pace, the dribbling. He's just really good. I'm really hoping that he gets a potential tag at next season. I really hope that he goes up to showing great potential, hopefully, because I don't see how he wouldn't get a boost in his potential after the season that he's had. I mean, to score over 60 goals, if EA does not give him showing great potential, I'm just going to be stunned. He's reached his potential right now. It's 67. It's going to go up at least by some, but I'm hoping for at least the 80 to 85. We will see, though. In this game against Bradford City, you would have seen that we got an early lead in this one, had to come back after they scored an equalizer. We score 2 unanswered, a couple from Telford. He adds to his tally, and we are able to win this game after we would add 1 more goal here. Moss crosses in, Bennett with the nice volley. That is how it would end. We end up winning this game against Bradford City 4-1. And you would remember that Bradford City was actually our first loss of the season. So we split the season with them. We win the second game. They beat us. They were our first loss. We had a red card at that point, and it sort of broke up the unbeaten streak we had. I think it was probably good. It took a lot of pressure off this season, and it really allowed me to just keep playing and not have to worry about making sure that I was keeping the unbeaten run alive. So you would have seen there, we check out Alex Wynn's potential because he did hit 60 overall, and he is showing great potential, which is awesome to see. I really love him. I think that he's a really good center back. He's 6'3", he's strong, he's agile, he's pretty fast for this league, and I'm really glad that we're going to be able to keep him in our team for a while with that showing great potential. Even if we end up switching formations at some point, we will keep him in the squad as one of our center backs unless we come across some just crazy youth academy product. But into this game against Tranmere, we would go up 1-0 pretty early, double our lead here with Marsh in the 37th minute. He's been pretty good in the last couple of months of this season. You know, he's gotten a ton of assists since he's been called up, and he's been able to contribute a goal here or there. So it's been really nice to see him, you know, get involved, and him and Bennett are just going to be absolutely incredible, you know, going forward. We would end up scoring another goal. We go up 3-0, and it's Telford. You know, obviously, he's going to put this in. He's one-on-one. He does a little cheeky chip over the keeper, and it ends up rolling into the back of the net. That is goal number 65 on the season. Dom Telford up to 65 goals as we beat Tranmere Rovers 3-0. We're coming to the end of the season. This is the last game against the Forest Green Rovers. They're in the lower position in the table. We are at the Rodney Parade for the last game of the season, and we would get it started in the first half. Bennett here on the edge of the box. A nice right-footed finesse shot into the back of the net. I was just talking about him and Marsh, and they are going to be a great duo to come in future seasons. A nice right-footed finesse shot into the back of the net. We go up 1-0. We would come forward trying to double our lead before half, and Moss gets into the box, and a nice left-footed finesse shot this time by Moss into the bottom left corner. He's been more consistent lately. In the middle of the season, you know, he got a little inconsistent, was missing some easy chances, but as we've come to the end of the season, he's been pretty consistent. Telford here adds our third goal, brings us up to 3-0. A nice little touch around the keeper. The little ball by Marsh to just chip it in. Telford is able to beat the keeper to the ball and rounds him and puts in the back of the net for 3-0. And although this was the last game of the season, we weren't going soft on Forest Green Rovers. We wanted to end it with a bang here for the fans at the Rodney Parade. Moss with the nice little fake Rabona into the shot. I was actually trying to do a fancy finish. I wanted him to like backheel it into the net, but unfortunately it ended up just doing a normal shot. It didn't register the fancy modifier, but we end up winning this one 4-0. We end the season on a 12-game win streak, I believe. And we pick up all the points from this episode. We are up to 119 points in the season. So you'll see here that Scrimshaw got recalled from loan. That's fine. You know, obviously we knew that was going to happen. And Ryan Morris, one of our players in the youth academy, ends up saying that he is unsettled. I have to call him up. He looks like he could be a decent player, but we'll see next season as he progresses, gets closer to 60 overall. So this is the final league table. We are top. We are champions by 36 points, an incredible margin. Cheltenham Town finishes in second, and Tranmere Rovers is in third. They will be joining us in League One, and then the playoff teams end up being Leyton Orient, Bradford City, Bolton, and Salford City. And really, the playoffs was really the competition to watch in this league. We won the league pretty early on. It was pretty apparent that we were going to win the league, but all the playoff positions were really close, as you could see. Only a couple points between the playoff teams, and the team that got left out, Barrow, they were only 2 points away from Salford City. So a really tight battle, but we do go through with our 119 points. Leyton Orient will be joining us up in League One. They beat Bradford City in the promotion playoff final, which I was sort of disappointed to see. I think Bradford City was a great team. They really challenged me this year. Both the second game less so, but we were sort of on a hot streak at that point. The first game, obviously, they were really tough. But you'll see here that Gillingham won the Papa John's Trophy. They beat us on the way there, which is totally fine. I'm fine to bow out of these competitions. Carabao Cup goes to Aston Villa, and the FA Cup would go to Liverpool, beating Spurs to win that one. These are the top scorers. Telford, 66 goals in 40 matches. Absolutely just insane. We have Moss up there with 16 goals in only 23 matches. Bennett has 14 and 35. And the thing that really surprised me and just was crazy about this was Telford had 66 and 40. Doyle was second, 44 goals behind. He only had 22, which is still a big tally, but nothing close to what Telford was able to get. An incredible season. You can see we have the top 6 assisters in the league. We have 5 players in double digits. Telford also got 21 assists in the league, which means that he had a total of 87 goal contributions in 40 games, which is over 2 goal contributions a game. Just absolutely, as I keep saying, insane performance from Telford this season. Really our whole team, but him in particular to be able to have that many goal contributions. Townsend also was able to get the Golden Glove in League 2, 19 clean sheets, only 5 more than Flinders for Cheltenham Town. You know, it's League 2. We do concede every once in a while, pretty often actually, but it's nothing to be, it's not unexpected. We're looking at now just the squad report, seeing how much our players were able to grow. Our highest growing player this season was actually Bennett. He went up by 8, as you will see, but players like Wynn went up by 7. We had players like Marsh go up by 3.5 a season. I know Telford went up by 5. Just Wilson on loan went up by 5. Donnelly went up by 5. A lot of growth from the squad this season, which I would expect when we're having an absolutely historic run and a historic season. We're going to take a look at the just the squad stats right now, and you can see that our top goal scorer in all competitions, Telford had 68 goals and 21 assists in 45 appearances. Just crazy, an insane season from him. Lee Moss was our second top goal scorer with 16. Bennett in third with 14. Scrimshaw had 13. You'll remember that about halfway through the season, we ended up putting him with the second squad because he was on loan. We wanted to get players like Lee Moss, who are ours, a little more playing time. Marsh had 17 assists in only 22 games, which I thought was incredible. Him and Bennett are going to be amazing going forward, and I can't wait to see what they do in League 1. I know it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be much harder than it was in League 2, and I'm excited for it. If you guys did enjoy this episode of the Newport County Road to Glory, make sure to drop a like. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Are you excited for Season 2? What do you want me to do? And make sure to subscribe if you are new. I will see you guys on Saturday for the first episode of Season 2 of the Newport County Road to Glory. See you guys then.